Simpsons doc.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, okay.
What?
We should have our heads like down the bottom and just have a huge space above us.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
You good?
Yeah, let's check. Who's beeping? I didn't notice that. It's a good idea. You have your phone number on there.
It's a boomer case.
Should be a QR code.
That's funny.
Here we go. I'm gonna turn off that sound. Cool.
And then, you know, the one thing that I want to tease, Darius,
Mhm.
is Dubb Omni from the app
Yep.
at the end. Or should we do it at the beginning? I don't know.
If you stay to the end of this webinar.
Oh, that's a cool.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I'll hook that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
So is Ina here yet? I don't know. I just see two. Is that you, me? No, yeah, that's just you and me. There's only 2 Rubens instead of 3.
Okay, so I'll be the backup Canva guy. Okay.
Okay, just in
All
case.
right. All right. Cool.
Let it all in. Ready?
Is there?
All right.
I'll kick it off.
Cool. Here we go. Alrighty.
Hello. Thank you guys for joining us. Hello, Ina, Darius, Rob. So good to have you guys. The room is filling up here. This is a topic that I think we're all learning together. I don't think there's such thing as an expert on AI right now because it's evolving so quickly. In fact, every day we see a new headline on how artificial intelligence is changing our jobs and changing how we do things and frankly improving them. Surrounded by this is also a lot of confusion, a lot of uncertainty, a lot of doubt. You know, this brings fear to a lot of people. Are our jobs going to be replaced by artificial intelligence? This is a very real question. And the general zeitgeist, as I understand it, is that artificial intelligence is here to help us and that it's smart, but it still needs the human component because at the end of the day, we are the ones that build trust with people, that complete the transactions with people, and then ultimately get people to where they want to be. So in this webinar, we're going to unpack this idea of using AI with video specific to the storytelling, to the script writing, you know, the what it is that you're going to say. So what we always like to ask is, where are you tuning in from? So give us the city, give us the state. Tell us about what your experience with AI has been. Has it been positive? Has it been negative? Are you using AI on a daily basis, on a weekly basis? Have you had some funny stories? Have you had some success stories? We'd love to learn on how you are using AI, either with the Dubb IRA technology or with something else like ChatGPT or something similar. So we've got some slides here. Ina, I'm assuming you're good with those slides to share those. If you do have questions, please put those questions in the chat below, and that's going to help us to stay organized. We can answer them in text. We can just answer them in a video or a screen share format. We can even potentially bring you on stage. Now, one of the things that I'm really excited to also share at the end of this is a massive update to the Dubb mobile app, which we're calling Dubb Omni, and Omni is for omni-channel because we now have the ability to integrate with social media in a very interesting way. Instagram Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Twitter. So this is some really exciting updates, which we'll share until the end. Darius, you want to kick this off?
Let's do it. So thank you guys. And I see a couple of users already saying, you know, using AI for a listing description, Facebook posts. Awesome. And then Ron, haven't found a value for using it in your business yet. So congratulations, you're in the right place today. My goal, as always, is to give you guys something to walk away with, something you can use in your business today. So hopefully, if you haven't started using it already, by the end of today's presentation, you will have some actionable items. So let's go ahead and actually start with a story. If you guys have attended one of our previous webinars, we often talk about storytelling. And so I want to share a story with you. This is a story about Samantha. So Samantha was a seasoned salesperson who prided herself on her people skills. And however, this quarter, she was struggling with her numbers, and she had a hunch that AI could do something for her, but she was sort of hesitant or too stubborn to try. And so she was sitting in her manager's office, nervous, and she realized her mistake. Her competitors had actually been using AI already to outperform her, and she'd been losing out on valuable time that she could have been actually spent building relationships with clients. And then now she's paying the price. So Samantha left her office with her head hung low, disappointed, and realizing that sometimes it's better to embrace technology than to resist the change and resist growth. So Samantha checked her phone and saw an invitation to this webinar where she's going to learn how to use AI in her business. So is Samantha here? Anyway, that's she's not here. That's a pretend person. We use the AI for this. So the point of the story is, don't be Samantha, leverage the power of AI technology. And again, I'm going to help you guys walk away. We're going to help you walk away with something to use in your business today. So let's go ahead and get into the presentation, guys. Don't be Samantha. Ruben, you want to take us through the story arc? And it's ironic too, because we just told a little story, and this, you'll see, actually went through this whole arc. And that story took me, what, 1 minute to say, and was able to go through an entire story arc. So this story theme will come back in this presentation. So make sure you put this in your noodle.
You know, it's amazing that we can study storytelling. We can study humor. We can study, how to engage people and how to entice people and attract people. There are things that we can study. We encourage you to go spend some time on YouTube. Since I got a YouTube subscription and I don't have to watch ads, YouTube has become my university. It's where I learn all the things that I learn now. Aside from reading books and networking with people and learning from other people, YouTube is the medium. So anything that you can learn, one of the things that I've studied is the story arc and storytelling. And I think that I always reference a book called Story by Robert McGee. And I think that there's a lot of different references that discuss this idea of what the story arc looks like. And basically the way that I like to understand the story arc is that we have a current state. There is something that changes. There is, in this case, it's called an inciting incident. It's some change that happens. Maybe it's AI is now introduced into the marketplace, or maybe someone decides to work with a salesperson and they sell them a product that changes their world. Now it goes to a place where maybe there's confusion, maybe there's success, maybe there's a high point, maybe there's a low point. And then ultimately it gets to the new state. So success, it's failure. And then ultimately, hopefully it gets to some sort of a resolution. Like we'd like to think that, especially if we're selling things, right? So if we start to understand the story arc, we can start to understand how it is that we can communicate and be better storytellers, where we can say, I was working with so-and-so person and they had this problem and they were suffering from this one thing. And we went into the situation, we offered this solution for them. And then all of a sudden, they had a hard time in the beginning, but then they realized that this solution actually would help them to accomplish their goals and to get the results that they were looking for. And as a result, they closed a magnificent deal and they were able to hit their quotas. And now as a result, they've scaled the solution across their entire team, and now everyone's using it. And now we have a success story. And now we're just figuring out ways to improve it, take some risks, improve it. This story arc goes on and on and on, right? It comes down to, are we taking risks? Are we trying new things? Are we going on these journeys? And then are we getting those failures that ultimately lead to successes? So I would encourage you guys, when you're using the AI assistant, ask it to write stories. There's this very interesting neurological thing that happens when we tell a story. If I share a story on how, I was at the store and my kid wanted to buy a Lego and they didn't have the right thing, and I start to go through this whole story on how I had to get my son a Lego kit, you're actually on the journey with me. And the way that your neurons are firing while I'm telling you the story is the same way that you're receiving the story. So we're actually aligned in how our minds are connected. There's a lot of data on this And the reason why I'm saying this is because when you share a story, people are on that journey with you. They're able to receive that information from you. And as a result, they might not have their guard up as much. They might not be as defensive. They might not be as sort of self-protective of what you're saying. They might actually be a little bit more vulnerable and empathetic to you and your story. So I would encourage people to include storytelling in every type of communication that you do, and frankly, use AI to help you because it's here to help you.
In fact, the story that I just read to you guys was written just by Ira. I said, write me a short story on someone that should have used AI and did not, and as a result, didn't meet their goals. So simple prompt is what we're going to talk about next. Let's go ahead and roll to the next slide for me. Prompting is really the secret of using the AI at this time. Knowing how to prompt the AI is going to be the same skill. It's like how you learned how to be a writer or be a copy or, do whatever the skills that you did. This is the new skill that we need to develop, is knowing how to prompt the AI to give you what you want. So that story that I just wrote, again, it was like one sentence. That was the prompt. I said, write me a story about someone who should have used AI, but didn't. And as a result, didn't meet their quota. That was literally the prompt that I put in, and it gave me that nice, perfect story there. So when we were talking about storytelling and that arc and understanding that, I didn't have to tell the AI to understand a story arc, right? It already understands that for me. So when I tell it to write a story, it's going to go through that arc for me. So understanding the prompting piece, we're going to give you guys some outline here to really go through good prompting, because it doesn't just always happen perfectly after one prompt. You're going to put in one prompt and then another and another in order to get your final product. So one thing at the top is you can always be more specific. So you can get down to a specific problem or state or pronoun, right? The more specific you get with the prompt, the more specific the output is going to be. So just as an overall rule, know that you can get very, very specific with these prompts and your results will be more fine-tuned. So here down below, we have sort of the overview of how this prompting would work. The first thing we're usually recommending is your research phase. So this is where you're going to tell it, give me 20 topics on videos I can create, or give me some bullet points, give me some stats, give me 5 or 10 things on this topic. And then it's going to give you some topics. And then from there, you're going to take one of those topics and do an outline on it, right? Write me a script or write me an outline on this topic. And then from there, you're actually going to go into the writing process where you're going to say, okay, now write me a 500 word. At this time, let me actually share the screen for you guys, because the writing is where the tool has some upgrades. And I want to show you guys this. So this is the actual AI assistant built right into Dubb. And right now we're at the point of the prompt, which is sort of like this task. We have a lot of starting points here for you guys, right? Create something, write something, research something, rewrite this. And now most often I've just left it blank, and I will just type the prompt in here. I will say, rewrite a story, write me a story, make this, rewrite this script and make it funny. I will just go straight into the topic, but there are prompts to start you guys off where you don't need to type in the prompt. You just select the prompt and then select the industry. So if you're in real estate, if you're in consulting, if you're in something specific and you want the prompt to be specific about that industry, you can select that here. And again, the reason we've provided these additional tools is to make it to where your prompts don't have to be as specific. Like, so you don't say, write me a story about the real estate industry, about someone who did this and that. Like, you can just select real estate and then say, write me a story about X, and it's going to have it be more in the real estate industry. So tasks are to start you off somewhere. If you're not sure where to start, you can just look through the list of tasks and say, well, I want a video title. Okay, that's perfect. I actually want a video for a YouTube script, or I want a song. Lots of different prompts there to start. Most often, we're probably going to be asking it to write things. And what the action item for you guys today is going to actually be to write a story for your business around your ICP, right? Tell a story of a consumer of your product or service their story. They had a problem. They were looking for a solution. They found the solution. Now their life has changed. You should get the solution too. Essentially, that's what the story arc is going to be for the story we're going to write for your business. Now, there's one other piece here, which we've added, and now this is the tonality. So here you can actually select a tone, one of these ones here, sarcastic, humorous, curious, whatever, and then you can actually select the length as well. So when we're coming to this writing phase, remember we were just at the PowerPoint with the bullets. We had research, outline, and then write. At this phase is where you're actually going to begin writing. And so you're going to want to dictate how long this is going to be. You know, if it's 200 words, and you're a fast speaker, that's 200 words a minute. It's about approximately a 1-minute script or a blog post or whatever you're writing. So you want to select the target output and then your tonality. Now, there's a lot of flexibility with the tonality as well. We're going to talk about humor in just a moment, but this is where your writing is going to occur. You put a simple prompt in or a complex specific prompt, and then designate your word count and then hit submit. And then it's going to generate your output, which is going to be your script or your blog post or whatever we've requested from it. So just getting comfortable with using this. If you haven't done so already, if you've never used this before, just come in and try some things. Say, write me a story on why somebody should use this service like mine, or ask it literally anything you want. Because I know once you get comfortable and you start experimenting with it, you're going to realize that it is very capable of giving you some very intelligent responses. Like if it was your very smart friend that worked with you and said, hey, can you rewrite this for me? And it's going to give you an awesome rewrite. And you're like, yeah, but make it funnier. And it'll never complain and it'll never do anything. And it'll do what you ask when you ask. And it's amazing. So I can promise you guys, get in here, get your hands on it. And this is the primary skill that we're going to be developing when we're going to be using AI technology. And this isn't just with Dubb's Ira assistant as well. This is any of the AI technology out there, whether it's image generators or word generators or anything like that. The better you get with the prompt, the more specific or more intelligent you get with telling the AI what you want out of it, the better your outputs are going to be. So let me stop my share again. And then Ina, can you share again? So there was a 5-step outline here that we had for you guys. Research, outline, write is what we just did, then rewrite. We're going to say rewrite because that's when you can add a layer of humor, or that's when you can say, well, I like this, but I want different words. I just don't like this I want it to say it another way. And you can say, rewrite this, but make it funnier or shorter or longer or whatever. So we always recommend a rewrite phase. You know, if this was traditional writing, this would be a pain in the butt because you already did the best job you could the first time. This is no longer a pain to rewrite something. It takes it 30 seconds. It's not a problem. And you're going to be able to improve your output, improve the quality of your output by using that rewrite. We always recommend condensing because the world is like shrinking right now, guys. The way the internet works with social media, with everything is shrinking, including people's attention spans. So if you have something that's like 5 minutes, let's tone it down to like 2 minutes, unless it's information somebody's requested. A lot of the content we're talking about putting out there is going to be for business development. It's going to be for posting to social. It's going to be for lead generation. And so we want to be really concise with our information to get people's attention in short order. So condense your writing, make sure we're not being long-winded. And then finally, this is going to come back again in this presentation, review, because the AI, as smart as it is, as great as it is, it needs human revision after this. And we're going to go into some more detail. But this is the basic outline, guys. Research, get your outline, get your bullets. Here's my 20 topics. Write, have it write the topic, rewrite it, sharpen it, and then review. So, Ruben, anything you want to add on this piece?
I was going to mention there's this idea of rewriting is really powerful because sometimes what I'll do is I'll start at this very informative, sort of almost boring stage. Let me actually share my screen here. All right, can you see the Ira AI assistant?
Yep.
Okay, great. So in this case, what I initially did was I said, write a sales script on a certain topic, right? think it was write a sales script to sell software. But then what I did was I said, okay, you know what? Let's make this a little bit more interesting. Let's say rewrite this script like John Oliver, use persuasive language that highlights the benefits, so on and so forth. So what it did was it created this monologue, okay? And the thing that I always like to do is I like to specify some of the tones. Like sarcasm is it's actually not rude. A lot of the times it's actually kind of humorous. It's actually sort of funny. So consider trying that. But humorous, hilarious, informative, encouraging, empathetic. I like playing with these tones because it makes it more interesting. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to read exactly what the AI system has developed. I might make this my own. In fact, I'll always do that. I'll always make my edits. That's the human element that we always talk about. But you'll notice that sometimes the copy is actually pretty entertaining. And a lot of the times we're actually much more interesting and entertaining than we give ourselves credit for. We sometimes go to a place of risk adversity when it comes to sales and marketing, and when we don't want to take risks. We want to stay on script. But in fact, the personality, our traits, our humor, our the knowledge that we've acquired over all these years of living, that's actually what makes us most interesting. So try to train Ira to share stories, to use humor, even sarcasm if you want, to speak like you, to talk like you. And then the key is to make it your own, because I promise you, it's going to be more entertaining for the person, and it's going to be more entertaining for you.
Awesome. Okay, Ina, back to your share. All right. Now, Rob, you're up next.
You got it. All right. This is the best part of the whole webinar today is humor. This best part. Don't worry. There's not a 2-drink minimum. There's just a 2-comment minimum. So get ready to start throwing some comments in there. Knock, knock. No, I'm kidding. Okay. So the thing you always want to remember with this is, especially with humor, think about that person that gets up at a wedding and they make the toast and they make that, 1 or 2 comments, or they're doing a big presentation and they're saying 1 or 2 comments, or just they're jokes that people get. They get them right away. There's not this overly witty, complex humor that could go over someone's head and they completely miss it. So there's no pressure where you have to be, this incredibly diverse, talented comedian when you're reaching out to people with sales. You just want to say something that's funny and people get it. Oh, I get that. Oh, I get it. It's kind of like when you're looking at cartoons. Like growing up, my favorite cartoons were Garfield, The Far Side, a bunch of stuff like that. The Far Side is probably one of the most witty cartoons out there. But the whole point was cartoonists, and I think this really applies for sales. When you think about a 1-panel cartoon, it's a one-shot deal and you've got to get it. And if someone just smiles, that's a win. No, they just smiled. So when you're doing your sales copy and you're leaning into the AI with doing this, that's something you got to focus on. Don't set these huge expectations. Just lean into why are you reaching out and what's that humor behind that. A lot of the times, like Ruben was talking about, when you do the tone and you do hilarious or humorous, most of the time the AI will stretch it as far as it possibly can. But that stretch doesn't even mean that it could be stretched further by you. So humor is one of those things where, whether you're doing it on video, which we obviously recommend, or it's within your text copy, always be condensed to the point, but make the humor like you. If you're not a person that has a certain type of humor, well, don't use that humor. That's the whole point. When someone sees your text copy or your video, they want to know that when they synchronously meet with you, wow, that's the same person that just made that funny comment. That's you. That's that person. So I think the key takeaways are, when you're using Ira, think about your audience, think about what your messaging is to that person, and what is the humorous take on what you're offering. Because you can find the humor in anything, as long as you're leading with value. What's funny about that value? What's funny about the outreach? What's interesting about the audience? But this whole webinar is about leaning into the AI to help you in the beginning stages of those things. I mean, you could probably put it into Ira, hey, I want a knock-knock joke about blah, blah, blah. And it gives you the literal knock-knock joke. But that doesn't mean you have to do the knock-knock joke. That means, well, I like the content in there. I'm going to kind of move a few things around. So I think you just need to expand your mind in terms of understanding your audience, know what your outreach is, and then find the funny. Find the funny. It's just, and Ira will help you do that. A great thing about Ira is too, when you submit something, like say I put a request in, you can keep hitting the submit button and you can take little parts. Let's say I did the same submit 4 times and I like the first part of what it gave me. I can take that out, submit again. Oh, I like what they said in the second paragraph. I like that line. I'm going to take that too. So you're almost slowly building out a little story that's funny from the different submissions that you've made. But remember, you don't have to be hilarious. If you are hilarious, congratulations. But if you're too funny, someone might not get it. So just lean into the common funny is what I would say lean into.
And I think this is the 3rd iteration of a joke that I had Ira write for us. The first one wasn't funny. The second one was too long. And then this is actually my favorite one. Write a joke about selling video software to sales professionals. Why did the sales professionals refuse to buy video software?
Why? Why, Ruben?
They were too busy selling themselves to the camera.
Ah, good. See, it's a win. It's just an easy joke. It's right there. They're kind of like dad jokes. You know?
And in reality, all it takes is having one good joke in your tool belt. You know, this is an old cold caller trick. Like when you have that one good joke, that's your icebreaker as soon as they answer the phone. So you're like, knock, knock. And they're like, what? You know, not the knock, knock joke, just saying having that one joke. You don't have to be a comedian like Rob said. You don't have to have a whole arsenal of hilarious jokes. Just having something in your tool belt. Use Ira, use a couple iterations until you literally find one good joke that works in your stuff, and then have that be your opening line in your next outreach. Like in your next follow-up, when someone's ignored your email 3 times, have this be your opening line. Start with a joke, you know, try something different. And so for myself, I'm not a funny person naturally. I'm, you know, like I don't come up.
I beg to differ.
Right. We understand our sense of humor, but not everybody does. And so I have to seek help when I'm trying to be funny. And this thing has helped me. So use it to be
funny. Find the funny, right? That's what Rob taught.
Find the commonality too. You know, like, hey, I'm going to have to go to the DMV. You know, it's just little stuff like that we all probably agree on.
Right.
Those little things within there.
Here's another one. Why did the sales professional buy the video software? So they can pitch their sales even when they're in their pajamas.
Which again is like the it's not ha ha ha, but it's okay.
Yeah.
It takes some iterations.
Yeah.
All right, Ina, next slide. Don't forget to tip your bartenders.
No, forget to. I don't see those comments. Are they coming in? Or 2 comments per person? Okay, let's go.
We're here every Thursday.
Maybe.
Yes.
Unless we get thrown off stage.
That's right. Let's get canceled.
Ina, you got that ready? It's a human intelligence one, or they could smell AI.
Yeah, HI.
Here I again.
Oh. Sorry.
You're good. I'll get this one, or if you want to take over, take over.
Okay, I will.
Okay. People are starting to learn to smell AI. It's basically, if you go read through it in a detailed way, you can probably tell that it's fake. There's a couple limitations to AI, and one is that it's a liar. It can lie, it can make stuff up just like people do. There's a lot of fake stuff on the internet, and so it can pull this false information from that. And so there's this really important step where we need human intelligence. We need revision. And AI is also behind the times. You know, it's still only trained up until 2021. So if you're asking it for current stats on like the real estate market of today, it's not going to know that. Mortgage rates it's not going to have that information. It's only trained up until 2021. So if you're asking it for statistical, factual information from dates beyond that date, just realize it can't give you those answers. And if it does, it's making them up. So make sure that you're only asking for things that are not, date sensitive after this time and date, and that you're doing some sort of revision on it. Like if you're asking it for facts, they probably need to be checked, because it might just make stuff up. So you do need to be aware of those limitations. 2021, and it might just lie to you. And so this is actually a step. Sorry, Rob, I think I took the last slide from you. It's becoming easier to tell what's AI versus what's real. And it's those things that I just mentioned: outdated stats, improper information, things that are repetitive. Like if you've actually tried to use it to rewrite a course or something like that, you'll notice that it will repeat itself a lot more than a person typically will. So if it's something longer form, it's easier to tell that was written by AI, or it can be easier to tell. I've had perfect things written out as well, like 500 words without it repeating itself, but I've had like a longer course thing to rewrite and it messed it up. So adding the human intelligence piece, this is really required at this point, guys. We need every single time you're going to have the AI, unless it's a joke. Jokes you don't need to review, right? That's why we used it. But if you're having it write a blog post, like I know a couple people mentioned blogs or longer scripts or things like that, you'll definitely want to review this before, because there's those other steps that we just mentioned. Once you've written it, this human revision happens, and then we're going to use it as a teleprompter script. We'll import it and use it to record. So adding your human intelligence, this is your eyeballs physically reading the words that were written and making sure they make sense, and making sure that it's not citing stats from before, after 2021. And the way you can make these things more real is by rewriting. That's why we have that revision process, that rewrite process, where you're either asking the AI to rewrite, you can ask it to rewrite, including this bit of information, something personal, something real, rewrite using this person's name. So this is, again, where your human component, your own personal information, your own personal take on something, this can be added into the revision process. And we're absolutely recommending that because, the likelihood of you getting the exact same output as somebody else is not likely, but the fact that some of the information is going to be repurposed is very likely, right? It's pulling this information from the internet. It's not original information that it's going to be feeding you. So you want to make sure you're adding that human component to it. So now it is original. It is copyright free and things, because you've added your own flavor to it. So do not go straight from Ira or ChatGPT straight to publish. You always need this step of human revision. So cannot stress that enough. You don't want false information out there. You don't want copyrighted or just straight wrong information out there and damage your reputation or something like that. So make sure you're doing human revision here. Okay. Next one. All right. And then this is where we actually, what I just described is after you've done your final revision, so you've rewritten it, you've added your human intelligence, now it's ready to add to scripts. You can see we've built a button straight into the Ira on the desktop where you can import this directly into the teleprompters. And then the teleprompters are available on desktop, they're available on mobile. So they're going to make actually recording this story, because as I promised you guys, we're going to have a takeaway, an action item after this, which is going to be to write a story about an outcome for your ICP, your ideal client. And so you're going to use Ira to write a story, and you're going to use the teleprompter to record that story. Now, I had the benefit of reading from the story in front of me earlier. You won't have that benefit unless you're using the teleprompter. So it's going to be much harder to memorize a story that you did not write than it will be to use the teleprompter. So this is part of the action item from this lesson today, guys, is story writing, import to teleprompter, or sorry, get into the Ira, rewrite, human revision, then we're going to add to scripts. So that button is built into Dubb. This whole system is designed to make your guys' life much easier. It's made our lives easier. We come right into here, into the Ira, do the process that we talked about, research, give us some bullets, take one of the bullets, give me an outline, take the outline, rewrite and refine the script, import to teleprompter, and then your content is ready to record without that process of needing to, memorize everything and research it all yourself. So it's really going to speed this whole thing up for you guys to create a valuable, interesting content without having to come up with it on your own. You just ask it, what content should I make? If I'm in this profession trying to accomplish this goal, what are 10 topics on videos I can create today? It's going to give you 10 topics. You take one you like, rewrite, revise until you have your script, add to scripts, read from teleprompter. So I know I've said this probably 3 times because that's, you got to hear it a number of times before it makes sense. but this is how the whole system is working together. So import to the teleprompter. Next slide. If anyone wants a training on one of the teleprompters, just let us know what your favorite recording option is, whether you prefer from the mobile or the desktop. There are going to be benefits to each. Like if you guys want to share your screen, right? You want to do what we're doing now, like a webinar or something you want to share your screen with the teleprompter, you'll need to use the desktop app. That's in the middle image here. You can see I'm using the desktop app. Or if you like recording on your mobile, you can use the mobile app. Now, I personally, when I'm using the teleprompter, I'm more likely to use the mobile app because the camera is just so close to the teleprompter itself that your eye line is nearly perfect. In this example, it's actually a little bit too low. I would have the teleprompter pulled up a little bit higher so that you're only reading from the top lines of it. Just gonna get that ready really quick. And then that way your eye line is perfect. So like this here. So if you could see my screen, it's just at the top that we want the teleprompter, not all the way down in the middle. Because if it's down in the middle, you're going to read down to the middle of the screen, and then it's going to be obvious that you're reading from a teleprompter. So whether it's the desktop or the mobile app, again, that add to scripts button pops your AI script right in here, and then we're going to be able to read from it to produce your video. So this is how this whole system is going to work together, guys. It's designed to make our lives easier, yours and ours. So content production doesn't have to be such a hassle. I can't tell you how much time we spent writing scripts and stuff before, and then they weren't even funny. And then we try really, I'd think of for like an hour trying to think of something funny to do in the beginning of the video, and still didn't come up with something that funny. So had we had this in the past, I think our other commercials and outbound videos and stuff would have been a lot better. So this has been a big help for us internally. We've already heard of how so many clients have used this as well. So the story I told about Samantha in the beginning, although is a fake story, is for you guys to not be Samantha. So when you need support with AI, that's what the cool part of Dubb is you can come talk to us during the live trainings like these ones, but during the regular ones, and we can help you with this as well. We're happy to discuss anything during that time. So that's sort of the difference between Dubb's Ira and any of the other AI technologies, is you can come talk to us and get support with it every day. So recording with the teleprompter is a big help in this system, because it's going to be a pain to memorize a 500-word story or even a 200-word story that you didn't yourself write. So teleprompter's big help. Okay, next piece. This is actually really good. Somebody earlier mentioned, a couple people actually mentioned they're using their AI for the blogs. And so this is another huge benefit of using AI, is for SEO, search engine optimization. So there's, one major way to benefit from SEO, like in Google search, which is blogs and videos to blogs, and both. So they really support each other. So let's say we did everything that we told you guys in this outline. We said research, outline, rewrite, revise, record with your teleprompter. So now you have this perfect video that, because you did the research, it's a good video for your audience. It's going to be searchable. It's going to be SEO friendly. So you got the video. That's going to go on YouTube. That's going to go on whatever social channels that you're on. But then it's also can go into a blog post. And a blog post is going to also help your SEO, your likelihood of being discovered on the internet by your potential audience, whether you're in real estate or coaching or consulting or other small businesses. This is how you can set yourself up for long-term success. This is actually Dubb's #1 growth strategy. Like, we don't have big teams of people cold calling and door knocking or whatever. We have SEO. That's our major benefit. And it's because we've been creating content this whole time. So use Ira to ramp up your content production. Writing a 1,000-word, 2,000-word blog post in the past was very, very difficult. I mean, that takes time. Now you can use Ira to make a video. Then you can take the video and turn it into a blog with some rewrite. And then you can post both to double your chances of being found through search engines, because videos are going to have their own ranking. You know, Google has its own tab for videos. So people that prefer video content, you're going to rank much higher there because there's a lot less competition. And then blogs, you'll rank there. And then with a video in your blog, it'll also help it rank higher. So again, this is a whole positive feedback loop where the video benefits the blog benefits the website. It's going to benefit you guys on multiple levels to create this type of long form SEO friendly content. Now, if you're at an organization, a salesperson at an organization, this maybe isn't your specific role to work on SEO or something like that. But for anyone that's in their own business, real estate, mortgage, title, insurance, where it will benefit you for people to discover you and not just your business, this is for you. This version, if you are a salesperson, like at an organization, it's identical, except for instead of creating blog posts on behalf of your organization, you're going to be creating social content on behalf of your own sales pipeline. So not so much on the blog post side, your team will have something like that covered, or maybe it's not your role as a salesperson, but posting to social definitely is. Using the AI to come up with topics, using the teleprompter to record those topics, and then now posting these topics and videos that you've recorded everywhere that the internet will allow you to post them for free, and maybe some paid ones too for advertising. So this again is the flywheel, the feedback loop, where the fuel goes in, but then the fuel doesn't just go out the exhaust. It's actually going to keep feeding us. So the fuel in this case is your guys' input. It's the prompt that you're putting into the teleprompter. It's your energy and time that goes in, and you're only putting this much energy and time to get this much output versus what was done before. Again, how long would it take you to write a 2,000-word blog post? A long time. How long would it take you to research a topic, to write a script for a video, to rewrite it, to make it better, to make it funny? That's hours and hours of time that have now been condensed to 15 minutes or less. So again, less fuel into the vehicle, more output coming out of the vehicle. So we're in a much better opportunity now. The only downside to this is everyone else has this too. Everyone else can do these things, but it's not any different than it's always been. Everyone's always been able to cold call and door knock and market. Everyone's always been able to do all the things. It's just a matter of actually taking advantage of them, guys. Now's the time to get ahead of this skill, develop it now, get good at it, because people are still figuring it out. People are still not doing it at all. People are still saying, yeah, you know, I'm good. I don't need that. It's not applicable for me. Now's the time to learn how it is applicable for you, because it can be used by everyone for essentially anything, because all of us can post more content, right? All of us can put more content out on the internet for our businesses to be discovered and for customers to find us. There's never any shortage of that. And this is exactly what that helps increase without increasing your inputs. So, all right. Ruben, you want to talk about this one? Vera?
Yeah, this was actually a technology that we've been using more and more. And the idea is, maybe Darius, if you could share your screen on the IRA.
Here it comes.
Yeah, and then I'll show you how to convert text into video. So the premise is simple. If you have text and you don't want to be able to record a video, you can convert that to a dynamically interesting video. So here we have, actually, Darius, if you could go to IRA first. Well, that's okay. That's fine. Yeah, okay, great. So we'll just start at IRA. So if you've generated any type of a script, any type of an outline with IRA, there's going to be a button that appears that allows you to convert that to video. So the premise is this. The premise is, if we don't have the capacity, if we're not able to record our video, if we're having a bad hair day, if we actually don't have anything visually to show, that we can convert text into video. And what we decided to do was to make it so that you can record, so that you can output this in multiple sizes. You can do it in landscape format, you can do it in square format, you can do it in portrait format. And the reason why this, I think, is valuable is because you can upload it to social media or YouTube or anywhere you'd like. So, you know, we've heard people say all the time, I would love to do social media, but I just prefer to have it be a faceless channel. I don't really want to record my face. I'd rather just show things, show interesting visuals. And this is a really good example where you can do that. So Darius, if you scroll down, you'll notice that button right there can convert to video. And then now, Darius, if you can go to the previous or import that, yeah, go ahead and click that. And then this is actually going to populate Vera. So this is a whole experience that we've created. And then Darius, if you could click on the advanced options on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we should clean up some of the copy.
Yeah, because this gave me a true script, like
a movie script,
person one
screenplay. Okay,
yeah, exactly. So I'm just going to cut out some of the facts like that so that it'll just sound like one person talking.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Anyway.
then if you can actually preview some of the voices here on the bottom left.
Male and female. It's funny too, because I've previewed this with several people, and I've heard that the men tend to think that the female voices sound more authentic, and that women tend to think that the male voices sound more authentic. So it's very interesting to I happened with like 6 people in over a 2-week period. So I was like, okay, I think there's something here, but I don't know.
That's very interesting. Yeah. So let's go with Hannah, and then keep the speed and the pitch as it is. And if you notice on the right side, if you click on upload graphic, I don't know if we have one ready, but you can upload a graphic, and then you can click preview, or maybe if you have something, Darius, totally not required.
Yeah.
And then you can click preview on the left. And then what this will do is that it's going to add.
Don't you just love staring at a computer screen for hours on end? Especially when it's just for browsing aimlessly through your social media feeds.
Yeah.
Boy, I sure do. But
Cool.
wait, what's this?
What's the answer to?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
the humor is there too. It's like, don't you just put that on the end? It's fun, right?
And then there's a drop down. You can change that to portrait instead of landscape on the right side.
Yeah.
And this is what's amazing. This is a social media video. And actually, one of the things that we're going to show in a minute is Dubb Omni. We're going to give you guys a sneak peek since you joined us in this webinar. This video can be dynamically generated without any video recording and then downloaded so that you can upload this into your social channels, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Twitter, whatever you'd like to do. You can even upload a graphic. You can upload a graphic that has your logo or a picture of yourself or a screen, anything that you'd like to show. You can add that graphic automatically just by clicking on that upload graphic button. You can even customize the color. So if you have brand colors, there's a lot of stuff that we did on this. And one of the reasons why we did this was because a lot of the times we go into someone's account, we say, hey, you don't have a calendar booking video that you're using to get more bookings. You don't have a video where you're asking folks to leave you a review. You don't have a video where you're asking for a video testimonial. So a lot of the times we want to go and create a quick placeholder video in their account. So this is actually a way that we can create placeholder videos. And then eventually, of course, you can replace those. So if you are looking to put a placeholder video for, let's say, an automated workflow, if you're a Pro Plus user, or if you're sending a campaign out and you just want to have something to use temporarily, this is also a good application. Or if you actually want to use that as the final product, amazing, let's do it. Again, you can also use these videos for social media. So a lot of cool stuff here with Vera. Give it a spin. It's pretty fun.
Nice. All right. Ina, we got, I think, what, 2 more? Oh, yeah. No, just 1 more. And then we're going to do a QA. And then we have a little announcement. So what to do next? I promised you guys, again, I wanted to have you walk away with something that you can use in your business today, which is using Ira to write a story for your ideal customer. So I want to tell you a story. Like I've heard this many times. Every time I connect with a Pro Plus customer and I'll have them say they want to do an automated sequence or they want to do campaigns. And I'll say, well, tell me a couple things. Let's come up with some video content, some ideas. And one of the things they'll say is, well, I was working with a person and they had this problem, and then we did this, and then they got the solution and they were really happy, right? That same blueprint happens in everybody's business. So if you have that original story ready to tell now, skip Ira, type it in yourself or do a speech to text, and then use Ira to maybe rewrite or sharpen it or make it funnier or something if it needs to be. But capturing this true story that happened in your business, or using Ira to generate a story. Again, that story arc we talked about, because most of us do not have a story to tell in our business right now, right? Most of us don't have a Dubb video that's telling a story about how someone went from point A to point B using our product or service. So that's the takeaway for today. And the reason this is valuable for you guys is this is a great video to share with anyone. You can put this in your playlist, right? Where your testimonials or your explainer video, this is a perfect video for your playlist. Like if you're in real estate or sales of any kind or anything that you're doing, you're going to reach out with your, hey, John, wanted to touch bases with you. I just sent you an invoice, blah, blah, blah. And then it rolls into, also, I want to tell you a story about Sarah. Sarah did this and that, right? So everyone can use this in a number of places. One is your playlist. Two is an email campaign. You can literally send this story that we're going to record to your whole database. Like if you're doing top of mind sphere of influence marketing, where you need to touch your sphere regularly, which is pretty much everybody that has a book of business, then this is a perfect touch point for that. Hey guys, happy summer here coming up. Just wanted to share a story with you about someone just like yourself. It's a perfect social media post. So there's a million places, not a million, there's like 8 places you can put this story today, right now, as soon as you're done recording it. So that's your guys' takeaway for today. Use Ira or your own brain, record your story or type it up, teleprompter it, and then get it out in front of your audience. People will enjoy hearing stories. It's much more entertaining than just us talking sometimes. So, okay. Any questions, guys, on anything today?
Push the wrong button. Sorry.
No, we're good.
Okay.
Any questions on teleprompter function, on the AI? It's actually available in a couple places too. We've added it to the Chrome extension website. My favorite's on the website though. I just like the prompt better there.
Hey,
Yeah,
Darius.
I was going to say the teleprompter is available on the Chrome extension, on the desktop app, on the mobile app, on the website, and then Ira is available on all channels as well. So these are tools that we've developed through lots of requests, lots of learnings, lots of iteration. These will be your best friends. Your AI assistant could be your best friend. We use it, probably half a dozen to a dozen times every single day.
And Jeannie, I think I saw your hand go up there. You can turn your mic on. Go ahead.
Yes, I was just gonna ask, where do I find Ira? And then he just came on and told me where. Okay.
There you go. Yep. Right on the dashboard, right on the everywhere, essentially. The app, the extension, everywhere you can be. My favorite's right in the dashboard though. I go right to dubb.com, log in, and it's front and center.
And everybody too, like I had a quick question too for everybody. Who's used the teleprompter so far? Like maybe just put one in the chat if you've used it. Like we love using it. So maybe one in the chat for people that I have, and if anyone has any feedback too, because put a lot of work into it.
Yeah, I did notice something the other day. Someone said that it looked like the teleprompter was slowing down. Wasn't actually the case though. The teleprompter will roll, the lines will go by if you have it at auto scroll. If the line is shorter or longer, the teleprompter will move faster. So if you have one line that's really long and then one line that's short, it's going to slow down and then speed up on the shorter line. So that's a natural thing. You actually want that to happen, because if it's got a long line of text and it's moving quickly, it'll be too fast for that, but too slow for the short lines. So.
Yeah. And, here's kind of a demo on the whole experience. Can you guys see my mobile phone?
Yes.
Okay, great. So what I'll do here is I'll just record this video.
Let's squeeze it up a little bit first. It's too low on the screen.
Is that better?
No, the side.
No, yeah, the right little touchy widget. Yeah, there you go. There you
Is that
go.
better? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
much bigger though. It's like,
So here I am, I can record the video. I've got my nice teleprompter here. I can adjust the speed. And here's what we're launching. Let's see, let me get out of here. And then we've recorded our video. And then if you'll notice here, this button right here, this little upload button right here, this is a whole world of interesting stuff. Because when you click on it, we now have the ability to download your video and to upload it into your social media channels. So a lot of the times, one of the responses, one of the objections that we get for folks on why they're not uploading videos to social media is because they don't really know what to say, or they don't feel comfortable being on video, or they can't get consistent. They don't like the way that they look. There's a lot of different objections. We all experience these. These are totally normal and totally human. But with the Dubb mobile app, you can record the screen, you can upload a video from something else, you can record through either camera. You can use the teleprompter so that you can get assistance to read your dialogue, so that you don't actually have to record with stream of consciousness, because that's very hard sometimes. Sometimes when we speak in stream of consciousness, we ramble, we go on and on and on. So the teleprompter will keep you on the topic, right? And then once you've done that, of course, you can download the video and then upload it into any of your social channels. So this is what we're going to be announcing, called Dubb Omni. And Omni, of course, is for omni-channel. The other thing I was going to very quickly say is that we also are going to be announcing our new partner program. And what I think is going to be really exciting about our new partner program is that there's going to be a multi-tiered downline, which means that if you refer someone and then that person refers someone else, you are going to get a commission. So when you get some time, go into the Dubb dashboard and make sure that you're clicking apply now in the Dubb partner program. And that's just a little widget on the right side, which is going to get you your link, your referrals, and eventually a downline, which is a really great way to create passive income and also active income. So stay tuned on that. We'll do a workshop on that, and really appreciate you guys.
Awesome. Good. Any more questions on the AI? I normally when I do trainings for our teams and stuff, I always assign homework, and I did give you guys a takeaway. I'm not going to be checking everybody's homework though, so do it on your own. But I can promise you this type of content, when you get used to the things, when you go through the motions of using the AI, of putting into a teleprompter, of recording it, if you did that 10 times, it's not going to seem daunting. It's not going to seem like, man, that seems like a lot of work. You're going to realize it takes 5 minutes. And then when you get your first customer, when you get your first thing from that, it's going to motivate you to keep going even more. But you'll never get that first customer unless you take those first steps. You'll never get that first posting done if we don't do the required things before that. So make sure we broke it down for you guys. There's 1, 2, 3, try one at a time, start with the prompts, practice with the teleprompter, and then work up the courage to post, to get it out there. So, because there's an opportunity to spread yourself, to make yourself known in front of a lot more people. And it's not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight, but the only way to do that is using all these tools that the internet has given us, right? So the channels are there, the opportunity is there for us to take it. We just have to make sure we're going to go about those steps and doing them. So
James, we have a question from you. If you want to unmute. Yeah, please, James, how are you? Yeah.
Oh, you're back on mute.
Okay, there we go.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I had a question and I was super stoked, man. You guys, I love Dubb, man. I just can't speak highly enough of it. It's just every time I turn on Dubb, there's a new thing that is just blowing my mind. That this whole AI thing is a standalone product alone. The fact that you give it,
Yeah.
do it. Thank you. So
Thank you.
there's this app, and I'm not promoting them, but there's an app called Pictory, which I shot you a note, Darius,
Mhm.
about it, because when I saw that you guys were converting the text to video, I was like, oh no, they didn't. What that does is you write your text, and what that app does, and I thought, and similar to what you guys are doing, you guys have probably figured out real easy. They're taking stock videos and they're connecting stock videos to your text. So if you're talking about like interest rates, it pulls from a library of stock videos, where instead of just a static image of just your face and like the sound bars, it just pulls up and rotates in real time that video, so that when you convert your script, it actually just plays not an actual moving video, which stock videos, stock images could also be moving images,
Yeah.
but that's next level. So are you guys looking into that? Because this is the next step in that Vera process, is not just the static image with sound bars, but actually moving images from a stock library.
Right. I think AI is fundamentally changing the way that we create content, the way that we write content, the way that we understand data, and eventually publish information. So we're always looking for stuff. The thing that we're always thinking about is, how do we keep this easy? How do we keep it authentic? We've tested a lot of software where you have to go in and you got to do a bunch of stuff. You have to give prompts and specifications. And what we notice is that the adoption is very low on that. Like we looked at some editing options for people to do very kind of specific editing to their videos, and we just didn't get a lot of adoption on that. We didn't get a lot of interest on that because of the time commitment. So we're always looking for ways to have AI assistants do the work for us. So I'm going to go and do some research on that app, and thank you for the comment. Really appreciate it. And thank you for the kind words. I really appreciate it. This is why we do what we do. We take feedback, we take the information, we see what's driving results, and then we go and we build technology, make sure it's easy to use, make sure it's easy to access, make sure it's not buggy. And, we have a lot of fun in the process. So thank you so much, James. Cool. Sandy, thank you for that comment. So nice to see you, Sandy. Appreciate that. Sandy, I had fun sending you a video reply. Thank you for sending that. That was really nice. Any other questions? Technically we have a minute. Technically. Rob might have a joke for us.
Oh man. Okay. I don't, all right. I don't have a joke, but has anyone seen the ultimate Far Side cartoon where it says school for the gifted? And the kid has his hands on the door like this, and it says pull, but he's going to push. I mean, that's just classic. You could almost just send that cartoon, it just in your sales copy, just have that right there, and then people would get it.
That's a great one. I love Far
So good,
Side.
so good.
Got great. Darius, anything else you want to include? We've got about 30 seconds here.
I think he's off.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Text to video. Yeah. It's stock imagery. That's another thing that people are talking about. AI is now, you can now edit videos. So what we've realized is that if you use AI to edit your videos and then you don't like one thing in that video, you have to go in and you have to manually delete that, go to this individual frame, specify the trim on it. So it's a lot of specific work. If it was perfect every time, I think people would use it. But the problem is that it's good in theory, and then once they have to go do the cleanup, it gets a little messy. So, but I definitely want to look into that. I know the founder of NVIDIA, so I'm going to reach out to him and I'll get a demo from him specifically to kind of see what they're up to. Cool. I also wanted to recommend that folks, if you don't yet have a Pro or a Pro Plus account, consider getting one. We have a promo code that we're actually going to include for new subscribers only. If you want to come and just get a free trial. There's AI, there's automation, there's the ability to send a one-to-one video email, one-to-many. We have an SMS integration. It's actually a two-way SMS integration. If you do want to scale up your efforts and use automation, automated workflows are a really great way to do that. So we're constantly innovating here. We have an entire CRM built within Dubb. You can sync it to your existing CRM, or you can use it as a standalone CRM. A lot of people do not know that Dubb has a CRM in it. So if you're not using your existing CRM, come check ours out, or use your one that you're paying for and integrate it. Whatever you do, just probably use a CRM because it's just good for hygiene and just overall kind of management if you're in sales.
James said, what's this SMS integration?
Yeah, we actually have, Sandy, we have an upcoming workshop where we're going to teach you how to bring on a team and have assistants or managers assist you with your process, with your videos, with your social media, building automation, so on and so forth. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you register for that. Any closing comments? We're just a minute over here, so we'll wrap this one. I'm going to stick around for just a couple of minutes afterwards if anyone would like to connect. But I will stop the recording now. Thank you so much.